Hey, welcome back to another week of Autistic, your comedian's guide to autism. Man, we are happy to be back. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Kirk Smith, and my co-host and cohort here,
Graham K. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. It has been a long, long time, and we do apologize for that. Things are busier than ever. I've been. It's pretty much all my fault. Kirk has been very busy as well. He's always very busy, as you all know, but all our listeners know. But on my side of things, I had hip surgery, and I was on my back for 2 months, and I'm trying to do 4 months of work in 2 months.
Trying to catch up.
So I'm trying to catch up financially, and also, so I'm working every day.
Like a mini COVID for your hip. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and I have to wake up tomorrow morning early and drive 8 hours to Columbus, Ohio. But hey, I'm excited.
You have a car that works. The Green Machine's back in business.
Green Machine's back in business. No longer big plumes of black smoke are coming out the back, which is good.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's just not as romantic.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good to have a car that doesn't omit the same amount of black soot that a Civil War coal battleship would.
It does run like a World War II diesel tank. That's true.
Man, she purrs like a kitten now, though, I'll tell you.
Woo, we're back. Now, long-time listeners know we do plug our Patreon, and full disclosure, I'm the one that physically clicks on the little buttons to do the Patreon. And so I do it usually at the beginning of the month because I'm busy and I forget otherwise. So I anticipated doing 3 episodes. We ended up doing 1. I apologize. We're talking about this on air. If I knew how to return your money, I would. I will send you back your $1 for the extra, the $5 extra.
Well, yeah. What he's saying is,
I didn't say it very good.
He didn't say it very well. Just kidding.
Solid. That's solid.
He thought we were going to do 3 episodes and requested 3 at the beginning of the month, and we only did 1. So you Patreon donators, you donated 3 episodes worth of money. We only did 1. And I think most of our donators are $1 an episode. I think a couple are 5.
And we'll do we'll take it out of next month. So very sorry about that.
Yeah. And we don't know how to give back your money.
If we did, we would. And honestly, it's not that much. So yeah, but we do appreciate it.
But just so you know, that's what's going on. We in all good conscience can't take your extra $2 without letting you know. But we appreciate it. You guys are amazing, and we love ya, and we hope you're doing well on your journey with autism.
How's it going on your journey? How's Pete doing this week?
My man, Pete's doing great. He's really rebounded really well. He had a tough winter. He was very tough and strong, and he's very, very happy. This is his happiest time of year because it's my birthday, and a week later is his birthday. So it's his birthday season.
A lot of presents.
And then he loves it. And I'm staring at the 3 toys that I bought him.
How close are you guys' birthdays? Like a week apart? A month apart?
A week
apart, man. Your parents have a very selective window for when they'd like to make late boy K's over there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I don't want to think about it. But the good news is it probably only ever happened once a year.
I'm just joking. Just joking. That was definitely not the case where I grew up.
My mom. A couple years ago, my mom had a couple glasses of wine at dinner, and I don't know how it came up, but my mom was like, "And we're still active." And my dad went, "Good grief." Good grief.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. My thing stopped recording. Oh, now it started again. Jeez Louise. Perfect.
Well, I'm going to let you deal with that.
No problem. It's going to be great.
Yeah, Peter is very, very happy. There's no real news to report with Peter. I am going to bring my show, Pete and Me, my one-man comedy show, which is like a stand-up show, but there's just a little more story and a little more crying. So it's not like
just like most stand-up, just a little bit of crying.
Yeah, it's a mix. It's a mix of stand-up and a play. Basically, is what a one-man show means, a one-person show. And I'm going to be doing it at the biggest festival for those type of things, called the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland. And I'm going over there. I've hired a publicist, and we had a brainstorming meeting this morning about how to promote the show to layman's, and it's hard. It's hard to make it interesting and not depressing, and it's like a lot. It's I'm gonna have to move back to Canada to take care of him. There's not much support, and I wasn't allowed to have needs as a child, so I'm still single. One of the reasons I'm still single is because I don't know what my needs are, because my parents couldn't focus on me, so I wasn't allowed to have needs, so I just don't know how to express my wants and needs. And they're like, the publicist is like,
She's like,
okay.
Well, she's like, well, you're really tall, so clearly I figured it was your personality, but here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. So we're trying to sell the show, but it's tough. It's at least maybe, hopefully people for Scottish siblings will come see it, or I don't know. People travel from all over the world to come to that festival, so hopefully people will see it. Hopefully it's not a huge disaster, because I've invested a lot of money.
No, it's going to be great, and we should take this off the air. But I've got a little email list of the Lothian. There's a word in Scottish, I think it's Lothian. It's like a local word, Lothian Autism Society, and all these people that I've invited to the last one. So yeah, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Oh, thanks,
I didn't even think to offer that because I figured you had it figured out. But if you want that, I'd be happy to give you those email addresses.
You think I have it figured out?
You're way ahead of me, bro. But yeah, it's going to be great. I'm going to see JJ next month, so I've started the collection of quadruple X T-shirts and pants that I buy right before. And he needs a new laptop. He needs the regular stuff, the regular JJ stuff: laptop, phone, just the regular. Shaving cream, deodorant. He needs industrial strength deodorant like his dad. And
really? You guys are sweaty boys?
Man, I'm a sweaty little person. Yeah, I'm always sweaty. Yeah, Mitchum, that's the best.
Oh, one time I let you
remember?
borrow some sneakers, some basketball sneakers, and I was like, let's play, and you're like, I don't know.
You can borrow mine. I'm like, are you sure?
I don't have my sneakers, and you're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. What's the worst that could happen? It was like they were dipped in a pool. I couldn't believe it. My feet don't sweat, really. I
sweat everywhere. Yeah, I'm a sweaty little boy.
No.
Yeah, it's not good.
I just glow. I just look more.
More of a glistening kind of guy. Yeah, you've got it going on, Graham. That, the hair, the car, the whole thing. You look like you just got off of like as a sailor. Got your little sleeve rolled up, white, black lined shirt. Looking great. He's flexing his guns. Oh, man, I wish this was a video podcast. You guys are missing out.
I have been working out. I've been hitting the sticks, as the kids say.
I like it.
After my birthday, the diet starts. The Canadian diet. You know what that is?
Poutine and beer? What?
No beer. Cutting out beer. I'm only drinking tequila sodas once a week.
Is that true?
That's
a Canadian diet?
Yep. Well, I invented it. It's called Canadian. No, It's not a Canadian diet. It's called, you know what, California sober. This is Canadian
Oh, Canadian
sober.
sober. Just tequila?
Yeah. No.
No beer, just tequila. I think that's Mexican
Just tequila
sober.
once a week. Yeah. I'm trying to get hot for the
Oh,
summer.
man. That's one way to
Um,
do it. Yeah, I'm the fattest I've ever been. It's good.
You look good.
Thank you. Thank you. I got really burnt in this. I fell asleep. Not fell asleep. I was floating around and I lost track of time in the water. And I was out there for 2 hours yesterday in Belize. No, Roatan. And I messed up.
Wow.
I messed up, guys. Still did my shows. Still did all
Wow.
my shows. Speaking of show
Wow, what a
business,
hero.
do you want to do this little article we have about a comedian and his autistic son?
Yeah, let's do it. This is a movie. This is a scripted movie. It's not. I don't think it's based on anything real, but it's a scripted movie.
That's been sent to me by at
Um,
least 6 of our listeners, at least.
Yeah, and it's called Ezra, and I've seen it on Instagram myself. It's been like the movie,
The trailer, not the whole movie. Yeah.
the trailer. Sorry, yeah. And it's a. You want to set it
Yeah,
up?
so it's I don't know if you want to read it or I want to read it, but clearly I haven't had a chance to see it, but I'm definitely going to see it. We'll do a review on it later, but it's just coming out, and it's about a comedian who has a young, high functioning autistic son, but it kind of touches on the challenges surrounding raising his son, trying to pursue show business. Kind of talks a little bit about what you talk about, or you talk about, feeling like you need to give up certain things in order to be more there for him. And the cast is really great. De Niro, Bobby Cannavale, however you say this guy's name.
Cannavale.
And then William Fitzgerald, and who played by Fitzgerald, who himself is autistic. But again, for someone to be autistic and play themselves, they're obviously on the higher functioning end, which is it's great. Still a representation of. I feel like the more information is good information. It doesn't exactly represent my son, but yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's so there's a lot of parallels. He plays a stand-up comedian who performs at the Comedy Cellar in New York City. Comedy Cellar is featured heavily in the trailer, and he talks about his son with autism, his family member. So I'm actually a New York comedian like this character. I perform regularly at the Comedy Cellar like this character. I'm a working stand-up like him, and I talk about my autistic family member like this character. I wrote a couple months ago or a month ago on the ad or on the Instagram post that the Bleecker Street Productions did for the trailer. I wrote as an actual New York comedian who performs at the Comedy Cellar with an autistic family member, I am either going to absolutely love this movie or hate it. Either way, I am going to be jealous that I was not cast in this movie. And
How many likes?
we got 80 likes,
it.
and we got 5 comments. Most of them are like ha 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 ha, and then one is like calm down. This has nothing to you. I can't find it right now, but it was like the person didn't get the joke. They're like, there's no reason to hate. Autism is is blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, well,
jokes just flying over their
please
head.
Sit down.
That's fun.
Yeah. The whole post, the thing is about how I want to be cast in it. It has nothing to do with anything.
Yep.
But anyway, but it is also like I'm interested to see it. It's not out yet. I'm interested to see it because, well, it's a movie about me. It's like my same character as me, except it is obviously a lot different, being a sibling and a parent for sure. But as discussed previously in this podcast, in a manner of time, I will be his parent when
Guardian.
my parents get old. guardian. Same thing.
Yeah.
No?
Different. I mean, I don't know. I could be your guardian, but I could never be your parent. if some
Yeah, I see your point. There's a different
Yeah,
connection.
if you break your other hip,
but
and in your old age, I could set up a retirement home for old comics, which is not a terrible idea.
yeah, what the thing is like I'm going to be his legal guardian. Right. I'll be like I'll be the one taking care of him, like a parent would.
When that starts. But as a parent, there's no start. It's a start date's the beginning of time. But yeah, anyway, we're semantics here.
The start date, it's still when you die. But I'm gonna say like, when it starts, it's not gonna end till I die.
I agree, but when it'll start for you in what, 50, 60? So you 60 to 80, you'll be his guardian. Yeah, if you both live that long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus,
I'll be like, I'm going to be an old. If I have a kid, I'll be an old.
Versus
dad
if it was 60, then your dad was his guardian for 60 years. So I'm just saying it's different. That's all I'm saying.
Well, some people have kids when they're
older.
That's true. It doesn't mean that they're not. They're not.
What if I had kids again? Oh man, can you imagine that? Just teaching that sweet, sweet jumper, and how to sweat into shoes. We have another article. Speaking of older people having kids. That was one of the assertions they said. I don't know if you remember that about older people having kids, your rate for autism goes up. I had a girl at a comedy show. When was this? And she was like, and I made
for men and women.
Yeah, I made a joke about.
It's not just women; it's men too.
Yeah, I made a joke about having kids I don't know if I have kids again, and she goes, "You can't. You're old. It's irresponsible." She gave me this lecture. She's like 25. It was pretty funny.
Did she have autism?
I don't think so, but she was just like, you can't, statistically, it's not good. She's like, I'm like, what was your name again? Like, I don't even know you. Just the idea to speak into someone's life who you don't know, a grown man who you just met, you just saw him perform. Like, he needs to know this. You can't have kids again. Okay, thanks for your opinion. I wasn't offering. I was just saying. Yeah, anyway. It's pretty funny how people feel brave to tell their opinions about this subject.
That's nice of her. Now I'm spiraling. But anyway, go on. Let's read the article.
Oh, you're not as old as me. Here we go. This is in medical... Wait, we're doing the next one, right? Or do you want to read the first one? I feel like we covered the first one.
Yeah, you set up
the next one. Yeah, sorry.
To read it.
So this one is in Medical Express. Brain overgrowth dictates autism severity, new study says. Some children with autism experience profound lifelong difficulties like developmental delay, social struggles, and even the inability to speak. Others experience much more mild symptoms that improve with time. So I would say the difference between this kid who got cast and my son, that would be the difference, right? The disparity in outcomes has been a mystery to scientists until now. A new study published in Molecular Autism by researchers at the University of California in San Diego is the first to shed light on this matter. Among the findings, the biological base for these two types of autism develops in utero. Researchers used blood-based stem cells from 10 toddlers ages 1 to 4 with idiopathic autism in which no single gene case was identified to create a brain cortical organoids, BCOs, or models of the fetal cortex. They also created BCOs from 6 neurotypical toddlers. Often referred to as the gray matter, the cortex lines the outside of the brain and holds tens of billions of nerve cells and is responsible for the essential functions like consciousness, thinking, reasoning, learning, memory, emotions, and sensory functions. Among their findings, the BCO of the toddlers with autism was significantly larger, roughly 40% than those of the neurotypical controls, according to 2 rounds of study performed in different years, 2021, 2022. Each round involved the creation of hundreds of organoids from each patient. The researchers also found the abnormal BCO growth in toddlers with autism correlated to their disease presentation. The larger a toddler's BCO size, the more severe their social and language symptoms were later in life, and the larger their brain structure on an MRI. The toddlers with excessively large BCOs showed greater than typical volume in social, language, and sensory brain areas when compared to their neurotypical peers. And just so you know, guys, off air, Grandma's very kind to say, well, you don't suffer from that, too much brains, which is pretty funny. Pretty funny, it's true. Nobody's like, man, that guy looks too smart. The bigger the brain isn't necessarily, the bigger the brain, the better isn't necessarily true, though, said Alison Murari, PhD, director of Samford Stem Cell Institute, SSCI, Integrated Space Stem Cell Orbital Research Center at the university. The SSCI is directed by Catriona Jamesons, MD, PhD, a leading physician scientist in cancer stem cell biology, whose research explores the fundamental question of how space alters cancer's progression. All right, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because this gets a little technical. We have long been assumed that autism, a complex pool of progressive disorders, begins prenatally and evolves multiple stages and processes. While no two people with autism are alike, just as no two neurotypical people are, those with a neurodevelopmental condition can generally be grouped into two categories: those who have severe social structures and require lifelong care and may be nonverbal, and those who have a milder version of the condition who eventually develop good language skills and social relationships. Scientists have not been able to ascertain why at least two of the groups of individuals with autism exist. They haven't been able to prenatally identify children with autism, let alone predict how severe their condition might be. Now that Koryasi and Muriori, geez Louise, those are two names, have established that the brain overgrowth begins in the womb, they hope to pinpoint its cause in a bid to develop a therapy that might ease intellectual and social functions for those with the condition. And then a list of co-authors, and there's about 50 of them. I really thought this was very interesting. What did you think, buddy?
Can you read the last the last sentence again? I didn't understand.
This article is co-authored by a bunch of different people. I'm joking.
Yeah.
What's more, the BCOs, so that's that lining thing they talked about, of all the children with autism, regardless of the severity, grew roughly 3 times faster than those with neurotypical children. So there's an overgrowth of that part of the brain. Some of the largest brain organoids from the children with the most severe and persistent cases of autism also saw an accelerated formation of neutrons. So there's even more neutrons. So bigger brain, more activity. The more severe a toddler's autism, the quicker their BCO grew, sometimes to the point of developing excessive neurons.
Wow.
Is that the sentence, or do you want me to go farther down?
No. The part about how they can find it in the womb, and then, but instead of stopping the development in the womb, they're developing ways to do therapy after the child is born.
No, let me read that part again. So, researchers use blood-based stem cells from 10 toddlers ages 1 through 4 with idiopathic autism, in which no single gene is identified, to create a brain cortical or organoids, BCOs, or models of fetal cortex. So they use the stuff they get from the kids to make these models, and they also create models of the BCO from 6 neurotypical kids. So then they take this gray matter, because often identified as gray matter, and make models out of it. And in the ones with autism, it grows significantly faster and more overgrown than the neurotypical kids. And then also, the extra gray matter means it develops excessive neurons. So there's even more connections. So, and then there's like a diagram of it, and it shows the difference. Like there's more dots in the one. It's just more congested, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I don't understand, but
well,
organoids have come up a couple times, and I in research.
This is like we should call this two idiots explaining autism, because I don't know anything. But it sounds to me like you take the stuff from the child with autism and you put it in a petri dish and you try to mimic what's in the kid's brain, and then they do it from a normal kid and they try to mimic it in a different petri dish, and the one from the autistic brain becomes overgrown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it's not a petri dish, but I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
But you're taking something and then you're like,
A Bunsen burner.
Sure, that's what it is. Taking a Bunsen burner, lighting it on fire, and then you can tell how severe the
Yes.
autism is. I think that's how it works.
Yes. Yes.
Some of my favorite letters we get are from people that explain what's happening, and I try to read those on air, and sometimes I forget. But if this is your field, and you have a direct connection to this, and you want to enlighten us even more, I thought it was very interesting. And this whole thing with this,
I didn't understand a single word you said. I don't know. I can't even comment on it because I have no idea what the article's about. Even I felt like I was in. I failed every single science course I was ever in high school. I do not know what you said, but
I can't tell if you're making
I'm
a
glad
joke or
you
not.
understand.
I don't know if I.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I couldn't comment on it because I don't understand a single thing. But I'm sure you guys did out there, and I'm sure
Basically, it's
Kirk understands, and I'm happy for
they're
everybody.
finding out that the brains of people with severe autism are slightly different, they grow faster, a little larger, a little more congested, and that happens in the womb. And so if they can pinpoint it in the womb, they can pinpoint why, and well, I mean, I would say hopefully
Maybe.
stop it. People with
Right.
autism's needs to be right, but for people like my son who isn't able to talk and really go to the bathroom on his own and hold a job, I think he might have a fuller life if he could, experience heartbreak like Graham does and get his heart broken, date and have jobs and
Get fired.
have
from
his own
jobs.
green machine where the turbo goes out and needs new shocks and it needs a new oxygen center, new brakes, new tires. The sunroof
That's
doesn't
right.
work. The headlights don't work. Whatever.
No, yeah. It all works now for the next month. You know what's interesting? I don't have autism supposedly, but I have been fired from 19 jobs.
Well, the fact that you're keeping track, maybe.
Oh yeah, good point.
You have a list. You have an Excel spreadsheet. How do you know that?
I added it all up once because I was a guest on a podcast about being
That's
fired.
hilarious.
Yeah.
One of my worst firings, I got a job at a golf course, and I was driving a golf cart, and I had to do maintenance, so I'm like doing yard work, and I put it in reverse, and I reversed, and I hit the brake, but it didn't stop. I think the brakes didn't work, but they said, it didn't brake quickly enough, and it hit a gas, a container.
Line.
Yeah, hit like a big gas tank of 300 gallons something, and gas is shooting everywhere. And so I'm like, oh. And I go and I try to talk to the boss. I was driving the thing, it backed up and wouldn't stop, and he's like, you just go. And then I'm like, should I come back tomorrow? No, don't bother. And I got home and I'm like, and it didn't even occur to me until later. I'm like, oh, I just got fired. Oh, I was 18. Yeah. Oh, I was being fired. I didn't catch that.
I've been fired from a golf course before. I got caught sleeping under a tree.
That's the most Graham way to get fired, I think.
Yeah, I woke up.
Somebody's standing over you. What are you doing?
I had one of those riding caps that protect you from flying golf balls. It's
Yep.
almost like a bicycle helmet. And I was under a tree and I had it over my eyes and it was like I heard a
That's
tick,
amazing.
and I was like I thought it was my friend, so I
What
was
do
like,
you want?
what? What do you want?
That is your boss. Perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, that's been the Comedian's Guide to Autism. My name's Graham K. I am going to be, like I said, on the road a bunch. I'm going to be in Montreal on the 13th, 14th, and 15th of June. That is in 1 week from this recording. I am also going to be in Austin, Texas on the 27th of June. I want you to come to that. If you are in the Tejas area, come to Austin. And yeah, those are the big ones, folks. You got anything coming up?
Yeah.
Ricky? Oh, Edinburgh.
Go ahead.
Edinburgh. If you live in the UK, come to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival all of August, I'm going to be performing at the Gilded Balloon.
Boom! That's a big one, baby.
Doing my one-man show, Pete and me.
That's a big one. Next week, I am at the Absolute in Toronto, the 11th.
Hot club.
To the 15th, one of the best clubs in Canada, I would argue. Maybe the best.
Yeah.
And then the next week, I'll be in Ottawa, the 17th through the 22nd of June. Come say hi to your buddy Kirk. And that's it, guys. Add me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That would really help me out. Share one of my videos with somebody, a friend, an enemy. It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as bad publicity. That's it.
You're going to take Pete out for
Definitely
lunch
taking
again?
Pete out for lunch. We got to set that up.
All right, awesome. He'll be so
I'll be there
pumped.
5 minutes early, and he'll already be seated and waiting for me.
That's right. That's my man.
That's it, guys. Have a great week. You can do it.